Sometimes the most normal places can be the scenes of the most terrible crimes. In suburban Preston, just 10 kilometres north of Melbourne CBD, one of those crimes played out 24 years ago.
Here on Spring Street, there's always a steady flow of evening traffic. At 10:45 p.m. on the 28th of October 1989, it really didn't look much different than how it looks this evening.
On his Saturday night off, printer John Stambolis spends the evening having a few drinks with a mate. This 1990 Crime Stoppers reenactment shows John heading down Spring Street. I'm across the road from the spot John was walking 24 years ago with Detective Acting Senior Sergeant Damien Madden, who's reinvestigating the case.
We've got 3 vehicles that were travelling south on Spring Street, so just behind us here. One of those vehicles was travelling at high speed.
That same vehicle had just screamed off from a traffic light about 500 metres down the street.
John's actually trying to cross the road towards our location.
The next steps John takes would be his last.
We've got about 30 metres of skid that start just up here. He's been projected some 23 metres down the road in the gutter area.
That's a long way.
It is a very long way, yeah.
John was struck with such violent force, one of his shoes was flung 55 metres from where his body was found.
From our perspective, that shows high speed, sort of around the 90 to 93 kilometres an hour.
The statesman sped off. As police would soon discover, it was a stolen car. Gaspar Ruotolo was in his 20s at the time. He, his wife and 2 friends were travelling in a maroon Gemini when the statesman containing 2 men sped past them well before the traffic lights. When the lights turned green, the statesman took off, followed by a white car. At first, Gaspar didn't realise the statesman had struck a person. The driver of the white car behind the statesman didn't stop and has never come forward. Years on, Gaspar still remembers arriving moments after John was hit.
A friend of mine beside me said that there was a body on the road, and that's when we decided to do a U-turn. And we came back and we're on the opposite side of the road, and there we saw a body on the ground and basically looking like he's dead. Yeah, it was just a shock.
It never goes away, does it? 24 years ago.
No, that's not something that's easy to forget. Yeah.
We're talking death here, so how can you forget something like that? Yeah.
By the time the Silver Statesman and its 2 male occupants sped off up the road, John Stambolis was already dead. He'd suffered fatal head injuries, but there were vital clues left behind. Their value, unrealised back then, but today, investigated gold.
Several streets away, the stolen statesman is found, dumped. Police then discover bloodstains. But not just John Stambolis' blood. They find blood inside the car belonging to someone else.
So it's quite possible that the driver or the passenger has received an injury as a result of the collision that caused the death in this particular instance.
Investigators are about to conduct tests which, after all this time, could finally identify the perpetrators.